Let's go. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Brian Friday podcast. Today, we are diving into something that's meant a lot to me over the past month. I recently discovered this quote from Sahil Bloom and Zach Pogrob from a YouTube video called Don't Be a Preacher. So, Zach Pogrob, the obsession guy, he recently started posting these long form videos on YouTube. And there was one that just I seriously cannot stop thinking about it since I've listened to it. And we're going to dive into that today. And honestly, that quote was people want to root for someone on a mission. So I'm going to give you a little space to let that soak in. And then I'm going to say it one more time. So people want to root for someone on a mission. People want to root for someone on a mission. And ever since I heard that, it made me really ask a couple questions. Uh, I'm going to dive into that today. And this is just going to be a solo episode, which we'll post this on YouTube as well for the Zach Pogrob's press record 30 challenge, which is posting 30 videos in 30 days. And this is going to be one of them. So honestly, I couldn't stop thinking about this. So it made me ask a couple questions. One, what is the mission I'm on? Like, what am I doing? What gasses me up? And not so much like, are people rooting for me, but am I giving off energy that could be contagious to other people? So what is my mission? And then it made me ask like some of our baseball guys who are here training this summer. I asked them like, "Yo, if someone walked up to you and asked you what mission are you on, what would your answer be?" And yeah, it just really motivated me. So talking with Isaac, or we drove to Bend, Oregon, to see a country concert, and Devin, my roommate, was like, "Dude, you keep saying this, but like, what is your mission?" So I was like, you know what? Instead of waiting for perfection, why not record a podcast and record this video of me sorting through two big topics. What is the mission I'm on? A little bit of framework behind that. And then two, what do you do if you don't know what mission you're on? Which is actually a topic that at the beginning of July, so when I'm recording this, I talked with Isaac Homer, who was previously on the podcast. We were talking about like, what do you do if you're not 100% clear on what that mission is? So let's get into this. People want to root for someone on a mission. I know I've said it, but I'm going to say it again because I want this to soak in. And I think the first most important thing is you just got to think about all those people right now that are on a mission. Because the second you start thinking about those people, you know it is 100% true. So you think about I don't know, if you're a college student athlete right now and you're listening to this podcast or checking out this video, it's like you think about that one teammate who is on a mission. Like instantly you got that dude's back, or you got your teammate's back. Like maybe she's point guard and she's the team captain and she's driven. She knows what she wants this year. And maybe you're a sophomore or a junior, you're not really sure. And you just buy in. You buy in because that person has clarity in what they want. So it made me start thinking about movies. You know, the first one that came to mind was Denzel Washington, Man on Fire. You're like, dude, that dude's on a mission. And through the TV, through the storyline, you're like, I freaking love this guy. And you think about that with, I don't know, I posted a couple on Twitter, which was like iRobot or Fury with Brad Pitt. And there's just these storylines where, or even The Terminal List, which is a book series by Jack Carr. Chris Pratt is the actor on Amazon Prime's show series. But you just think about those people who give off an aura, and it's just an energy, it's a vibe, it's contagious, and it instantly makes you buy in. The mission, because it's bigger than the person who's on the mission. It is about the thing that they are willing to pursue and they don't know if they're going to get it. And honestly, it made me think about Jake Holcroft. Just it's like sometimes you're not making it about you. And Jake Holcroft, he was our captain for the University of Portland baseball team. But it's like he never talked about winning a championship. He never talked about being the captain. He never talked about being the man. And he never talked about being the hit king or breaking records. He just was being himself, driven towards this mission. And I think that brought people along. And I've talked about this on a previous podcast where it's like those people who want to be the captain versus the people who want to do the right thing and support other people and lift them up. Like that person becomes the captain as a byproduct, not because they want to. So shout out to you, Holy. Uh, I even posted a little picture. Maybe I can put it up right here on Instagram, but it was a picture of me and him from 2 years ago. But it's like those people, they just give off energy and you're like, I need to be around this person and I need to support this person. So a couple people for me, I already said, was Zach Pogrob, Sahil Bloom, and especially George Heaton, who he even has in his Instagram bio, it says on a mission. And he is the founder of Represent 247, which is a streetwear clothing brand. And it's really interesting actually, because I have a lot of sweatshirts, I have a lot of t-shirts, we all got clothes, but for some reason, like this dude, I listened to his podcast and I just got so bought in that I was like, I need to get his hat so I can wear his hat when I run the Eugene Marathon, which is like right there. Um, and yeah, I just ordered a hoodie and I was like, you know what? Like, I want to support this dude's mission of creating just a sick clothing brand. So maybe you can think about this. So while I don't know if I'm in your headphones right now while you're working out, or you're watching this video as you eat dinner, or maybe you're listening to this podcast in the car while you drive to work, you can think about two things. Like, who is one person that you look up to that's on a mission, just on a relentless mission? And the second part you can think is then like, okay, what's one component of the mission that you're on? Like, what is the mission you're on? So let's get into that, and then I can get into more like specifics of me and how I sort through it and where to start. But I really think just like reflecting on this process, I think there's a mission. And then I think there is an arc. Or so Zach Pogrop's talked about this obsession arc. But I looked at the arc as like a season. So maybe that's like a year or 2 or 5 years where you're really dedicating to one medium. So maybe that's like you're only posting on YouTube for that arc, and maybe that's on one specific topic, but your overarching, maybe your mission is something else. And then from there it drops down to more like sub quests. So I don't know why I thought about like Lord of the Rings or like Zelda. And sub quests, they ultimately support you being the best version of you and becoming who you want to be. They support your overall mission, but they're just like these pursuits that you're doing right now that are maybe a little bit smaller. It's like a good example of this is, it's not my mission to run fast, but I do want to run sub 3 hour marathon, which is like a 650, I think 3 or 655 average in October. So that's my sub quest. And then I think there's the last part is checkpoints and benchmarks. So checkpoints and benchmarks would be maybe more like using Isaac as an example. So Isaac Homer just had ACL surgery, and he is really getting to that point where he could take his brace off, and then we could start training his other leg. So yes, a lot of variables are within his control to speed up that recovery process, but he needs to get to that checkpoint so ultimately he could play maybe 90 minutes in next spring. So checkpoints, benchmarks, I think those ones are just more like they're time based in some capacity, but then they're also, I don't know, like a checkpoint would be, I need to run at least 4 times this week or something. Maybe more like something small, like you're breaking down the mission. So one more time, it's going to be mission, arc, season. Then there's sub quests, and then there's checkpoint benchmarks. So that's how I look at it. I'm still working through that process. So honestly, as I share this with you, I'm just trying to figure it out and really dissect this. Like, people want to root for someone on a mission because I think energy and magic, it is an incredible currency. It can create leverage and exponential growth, and I think it's the magic. Like, I think that's where the magic's at, is being on a mission. So yeah, let's get into part two, my mission. So right now, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I think number one, my overarching mission is to cultivate in curiosity in others through exploring my own curiosity. And at the same time, I want to help people discover their mission, because I think there's so much, like I said, power, energy, momentum, this magic inside, like within a mission. So people talk about like the greatest leaders create other leaders. And I think leaders are on a mission. So why not cultivate curiosity in other people? So helping people get more curious. Then I can do that through exploring my own curiosities and help people discover their mission that they can just go all in on. That it's not guaranteed success. They just want to go all in on. So I think right now that's my overarching mission. And then this arc season, I think right now my arc or my season is the daily deposit. So I don't think daily deposits are my mission, which I've talked about this. I can link a video in the show notes, but it's, you guys have seen this. I'll post on Instagram and people have been tagging me in it. And I got this from Josh Bonatol and influenced from Bradford Scott. It's just defining your daily deposit, then committing, not wanting, not having it be a goal, but committing, because commitments, goals are what you want and commitments are what you do. And so you define those consistent, intentional investments in yourself, just like investing in the stock market, but you're doing it through your habits, your actions, your decisions. So I think that's my arc right now. That's the thing I'm going to ride for this year, and we'll see where it goes. And I just continue to share on social media my deposits, connect with people, and better understand what are their non-negotiable daily habits. Like, what is, I've asked Noah Cracknell this on one of the podcasts, was what's your greatest habit, or what is your greatest like action that has the best ROI? And he said daily deposits is working out every day, because you can change so much about your day. You can change so much about who you are and who you want to be by just moving your body and getting out of your dome. Like, just not, I know I'm guilty of this, but it's just getting out of your brain and you stop thinking and you just start doing and being instead of analyzing and trying to decide what's right or what's perfect or with judgment. It just, a daily deposit, a 30-minute walk, 30-minute run could change your life if you just do it every single day. And so I think that's my arc. And then my sub quest would be 100 podcast episodes by my birthday. That is one sub quest or goal aspiration. And another one would be the 3 hour marathon by October. And I need to stop saying, I keep doing that right now. So maybe that's a little bit of my progress. And then another sub quest that I have is the Press Record 30 challenge, which is what I said at the beginning. You post 30 videos in 30 days that are longer than 90 seconds. So I've been doing like selfie camera on my phone, or I've done videos like this, just using Riverside FM and recording it more podcast style. And then I'll just post them to YouTube. And honestly, it's just getting more comfortable talking on the mic, talking on camera, speaking with you, and just speaking with more clarity and really this idea of the creativity faucet. So I just have one pipe backed up of dirty water and clean water. The only way to get to the clean water is just get reps in, get all the dirty water out. And sometimes there's gonna be some good ones, like maybe this podcast, and there's gonna be some bad ones that I probably posted on YouTube that I could do a lot better. So those are some of my sub quests. I think as well, just like posting my KPI reviews. So I've been posting those, just a review of the last month, my key performance indicators, my habits, the things I'm tracking. Um, I think what other sub quests do I have? Honestly, just like maximizing the summer, because it's summer in Portland, the weather is beautiful. Maybe those sub quests is just like planning experiences, but I would say some of the big ones are what I just named. So I think that's it. Podcast, and then yeah, so it's like enjoying coaching and impacting people every single day. So maybe I'm doing that through University of Portland with my 4 teams. Then I have the podcast. So can I consistently connect with people that I'm curious about? I'm curious about their story, what they're doing, who they're becoming, how do they figure out what they want? Maybe it's more of like a health and performance topic. And then we get into like writing. So how can I maybe take those ideas from the podcast, write, but my minimum is going to be that once a month newsletter review of the previous month, and then post it on YouTube. So that's something that I've really got out of my comfort zone, and posted a lot more videos on YouTube using CapCut to edit these videos. But long list, those are my subquests. And then checkpoints, I guess, would be the 100 episodes by my birthday. And then just like how workouts going. So right now we're about 13 weeks out from the marathon. So just keeping my awareness about that, and then getting all the boys ready. So as my buddies sign up for the marathon, we get into this marathon training block, which is going to be elite. So yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. Apologies. I just am gonna pull up some notes right here on my phone, and it's yeah, cultivating curiosity in others. Hmm. Okay. Well, I'm really glad I did this. I don't like pulling out my phone in the middle of a podcast, but I did write this really good note. Sometimes I write down notes during my runs, and I think of really good things. Well, maybe I'm ripping 3 or 4 miles in, but this is one thing attached to my mission that I want to get more clarity on, and maybe I could make it more direct so it's easier for people to understand. But it's this idea is like Zach said this as well: be relentlessly useful. And I believe that's from David Senra from the Founders Podcast. But it made me write this. I said, I want my light and my energy to shine so bright that it makes others shine exponentially greater. And this ties into this idea that I got from Nick Bear from BPN and Chris Williamson, the host of the Modern Wisdom podcast. But they talked about being a parent, and it's not one thing just to give your kids the tools so they can do things as good as you. It's you want to prepare, you want to help your children be exponentially better than you, to the point that they can do things better than you could have even imagined. That is an aspiration for me. Like, I don't have kids. I've said that in a previous YouTube video, which I think is it's the quote, the son is the father to the man. But real quick, let's get back to the quote, and then I can dive into this last part so this video doesn't get too long. But really, I think that ties into my mission is I want to help people get curious about the things that they love and they connect with and they get obsessed about, so they can ultimately discover their mission, and they can just do it exponentially better than I could have even imagined. Like, what an opportunity. And I think it ties in well to this don't be a preacher. I say what an incredible opportunity, but at the same time, it's not about me. And that is the part that Zach made really clear in his video. It's the greats don't make it about them. They make it about the mission. They make it about the mission. So we got to stay on a mission. Staying on a mission, one daily deposit at a time. We just are going to continue to stack days. We're going to stack workouts. We're going to stack habits in the direction of the person that I want to be, the things I want to accomplish, so that I can impact other people. And it starts with recording this podcast. It starts with posting this video on YouTube. It starts about having more conversations about this, and then maybe coming back and recording another one. But I'm grateful that you've made it maybe 15, 20 minutes in to listen to this podcast. And the last part, just the closing, is what do you do if you don't know what your mission is? And I told Isaac today, I was just thinking out loud on this, but I think you just focus on the sub quests and the commitments, and then you filter in the checkpoints. So maybe I don't know, maybe you don't know what your big overall huge life mission is, but you can have these commitments and these goals for the year. Like, okay, the goal, I want to do this. Am I going to commit to it? Yes. Okay. Then what checkpoints, what actions fit into that subquest? And I think the more you filter through that and the more you try different things through experiences, or maybe traveling or internships or reaching out to people or posting your ideas on a newsletter like Joey Musto's triple effort newsletter, right? Like, he is just he's raising his freak flag. He's putting his bat signal in the sky, which is also a huge magnet and it's going to attract people who maybe resonate with Ben Franklin or Charlie Munger, just using him as an example. Like maybe he doesn't have a super clear mission for his writing right now, but I think that's how most people start is they're not really 100% sure big picture, but the big picture gets filtered in, it gets filled out by taking these small actions because it's like the quote, the path is always unfolding. You discover more of what you want, who you want to be by taking action towards what you think might be the right answer. So I think that's the advice. You figure out, okay, what do you want? What are your goals this year? Okay, what are you going to commit to? Do your habits and your actions and maybe your key performance indicators from month to month add up and align with the direction that you're going? And then as you go through that process, you reflect, and then you can figure out your bigger overarching mission. Um, yeah, maybe I'll do another podcast on that idea of I don't think the greats had it all figured out. I think that's a misconception. I think they figure it out as they do it. They learn by doing. Instead of watching YouTube videos on how to swim, you just start swimming and then you figure out how to swim better. So yeah, I know that was a long rant, but just a recap is people want to root for someone on a mission because it gives off energy, it gives off aura, and you instantly have their back because you're supporting them because they're driven towards something that's bigger than themselves. And I just working through that. So mission, arc, or season. Then we have sub quests, and then you have those checkpoint benchmarks. And then all that aligns with your commitments and your habits. So yeah, it's not to get long winded. I know that was a long rant, but I really hope someone finds value in this. And I'm going to link everything in the show notes. I'm working on just being more consistent and better with that. But I appreciate you being here, especially for the long haul of this long video. And if you made it this far, like message me. You can comment like what is your mission, or you can even comment just someone that you look up to that you think is on a mission. It could be a fictional character like freaking Will Smith in I Am Legend with his German Shepherd when they're killing zombies, or it can be a real person, and I'll check out their stuff because I know I don't know what it is. It's the magic. You just like, yeah, that person's doing what they want and they're getting after it. And that's contagious, you know? If if I could be like that and it rubs off a little bit on somebody else, hell yeah. I think that is living. So I appreciate you checking out this long form video. It's kind of fun being on here and sharing some ideas with you in a little bit of a different format or different art. And if you want to learn more, you can check out my newsletter. It's all linked in the show notes. So brianfriday.beehive.com. You can check out the Brian Friday podcast. For everybody listening, thanks for already checking out the pod. And yeah, I cannot, huh, I cannot say thank you enough for checking this out. So I appreciate you letting me teach you or share with you something that I'm deeply curious about. And let's stay on a mission. Keep stacking those daily deposits and making every day the best day of the year. Until tomorrow, peace.